On India Today, we continue our comprehensive coverage of demonetization and how it is affecting you and how it will impact your life. For the next 60 minutes, we will take your calls live. Our experts will answer your questions. But let me begin the show by telling you big developments through the day as far as demonetization is concerned. Limit for exchanging old notes curtailed to 2,000 rupees per day. Families can withdraw up to 2.5 lakh rupees for weddings. Farmers can withdraw up to 25,000 rupees a week. Government employees can draw an advance salary in cash up to 10,000 rupees. No toll tax on national highways till the 24th of November midnight. Rural India is also affected, urban India is also affected. I have Devendra Sharma, an economist of repute, joins us from Chandigarh. I have Sunil Shah, a market expert who joins us from Mumbai. Gentlemen, welcome on the show. Our phone lines are buzzing. Sartha is our first caller from Chennai. Go ahead, ask your question.
Hello. Actually, hello.
Yes, go on.
Yeah, it's Saradi, not Sarada. I have a few concerns on the current demonetization. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Yeah, the government calls it on a big crunch on black money, but you know, there are a few places where the black money is being continuously invested. Why can't the government monitor on those places, make the black money worthless by constantly monitoring the high value purchases instead of making a carpet?
Okay, you've asked your question. I would request all our viewers calling us, please switch off the volume of your television and then ask your questions. Mr. Shah, would you like to take that question? Why isn't the government monitoring, or is the government monitoring high value transactions? Is that the way ahead?
Well, you can't say, and you can't single out one action of government. You see, the menace of black money is so deeply rooted, and this is the extreme step, and no government would ever want to take, or may not have courage to take. But then in the extreme situation where, you know, there is not only problem of black money, Mr. Prime Minister has said that it's about counterfeits and the notes which are reaching to the terrorist act of people who are indulged in terrorism. So this monitoring of high ticket purchase would have a very limited result and would not yield or flush out black money. What was needed was some extreme step. Yes, I agree that the nation is going through, the people are going through hardship, but I think the wisdom will eventually dawn upon everybody that under the circumstances, this was a necessary step. Yes, certainly what you are saying would have resulted in some kind of flag raising that, oh, okay, there are some individuals who are spending high ticket, but everybody does not spend high ticket black money on high ticket.
Okay,
so I think under the
Satya
circumstances,
from Hyderabad.
this was the extreme step which was required.
Sure.
Good evening.
Good evening, Satya. Go on.
Yeah, I have a doubt I want to clarify, sir.
Yes.
I'm a regular taxpayer, and in my tax sheet 2016 and 17, I have got cash and hand and bank balance around 54 lakhs. So most of the amount I have kept in the house. So can I deposit it now? If I deposit it, I'm going to face any problem.
Okay. Both Mr. Shah and Devendra Sharma, Satya has 54 lakhs in cash with him even after filing his returns, he says. If I heard the correct question correctly, if he deposits it now, will he have to again pay tax on that? Is that your question, Satya?
On paper.
On paper. Go on. Mr. Sharma, would you like to take that question?
May I answer
Okay,
that?
the government has already clarified that if you have more than 2.5 lakh rupees and you are not able to prove that, by way of your returns that this is a money which is unaccounted, then of course you will be liable for additional tax of 200%. That's what the government clarification is, and it's very clear.
Okay.
You have to come and establish that, this is justified, this amount that you have, even whatever you have paid is justified.
Sarvanan from Chennai. Sarvanan, go on, ask your question.
Yes, sir. I have a doubt. So there is a limitation of 2,000 rupees per day. So when is the next exchange when I will be permitted?
So 2,000 a day is the limit, 2,000 per day. You can withdraw 2,000 rupees per day, if I understand that correctly, Mr. Shah.
Well, yes, certainly. But you see, the thing is that people are little confused. What government is saying, that exchange of notes you can do 2,000, but deposit, far as deposits are concerned, and if you have enough deposit, you can deposit your money. Far as withdrawal is concerned, you can withdraw for your house expense. Last week it was 20,000 for the week. This week it is 24,000. So it is not that substantial amount. You can always withdraw for your petty expenses. So you don't rely only on the exchange. You have to rely on withdrawal, which you can very well do it.
Oh, absolutely. So there are doubts that people have. Mr. Devendra Sharma and Mr. Shah, people can withdraw up to 24,000 rupees every week. You can, through a check, withdraw up to 24,000. 2,000 rupees is exchange, but you can deposit any amount. Mr. Devendra Sharma, I understand that correctly. You can deposit any amount in your bank. Old notes of 1,500 rupees.
Exactly what you are saying is very right, and in fact if you are a farmer, then you can withdraw 25,000 rupees a week. That's what is the latest notification, and but it has to be against the crop insurance or crop lending that the banks normally do. So that's the kind of limit that has been set. An ordinary man can go and withdraw up to 24,000 rupees a week.
Okay, I have Mr. Moti Ranjan who calls us from Bengaluru. Sir, go ahead, ask your question if you have a doubt.
Question is that I stood in a long queue to change 4,500 rupees when I was topped up with a 2,000 rupee note, of which which cannot be encashed most 99% places. This is as bad as old notes. But my problem is why 500 rupees note were printed. Bangalore Mirror said they were planning for 6 months and they were transporting 2,000 rupee notes from Mysore to all the reserve banks. They could have done so in 500 rupee notes.
Mr.
Then
Shah, would you like to take that? Because, apart from the problem that Mr. Moti Ranjan is facing, there is also this point that people are raising. What's the point of having 2,000 rupee notes? Won't it also lead to even more black money being stashed?
Well, let me tell you one thing. This is a part of policy, and I'm not privy enough to give you a reason why. But one thing is certain: when you want to replenish these kind of huge, because 500 and 1,000 rupees would constitute around 86% of the notes in circulation. Initially, what you want to do is release as much money as possible, and with limited notes. So 2,000 rupees was one of the solution. Of course, they have increased the number of notes in 100 rupees. Initially, where you want to make big payment like 10 for 2,000 and above, you can always pay by 2,000 rupees. Now, if you have only 100 rupees note, and if you don't, a 500 note came much later, so then the payment would have been difficult. So what government is targeting is that at least when you have 2,000 rupees, those higher denomination note will be easy to pay your bigger bills. And in the meantime, you have these 100 bucks rupees, you have 50 rupees, they have not gone out of circulation, they are not demonetized.
Okay, so 2,000 rupees you're saying will help pay bigger sums, but bigger sums should be paid through card. Mr. Devendra Sharma, that apprehension that this will lead to more black money being stashed away, will lead to more bribes, is that fair criticism, sir?
Yes, I think it is fair criticism because there is no reasoning that I see from the government also when they say they're going to withdraw the notes for a higher denomination, primarily 1,000 rupees that I would aim at. If 1,000 rupees notes are to be withdrawn and it is replaced by 2,000 rupees,
yes,
your intention to curb corruption or black market, coming up in the days to come is defeated. And I think that is something which the government has not been able to answer. And it is, if you look at all over the world, all those countries which try to do, demonetization have actually removed, notes of higher denomination.
Notes.
So I
Yes.
see no reason why this should have been done in India.
Absolutely. I have Anand who calls us from Mumbai. I have Inayat who calls us from Srinagar. Anand, go on, sir.
See, now this exchange counter is open. Now on the 50th day, if the people are still standing on the queue and if they cannot exchange all the money, what will be the position of those people who are standing on the exchange queue?
That's a fair point, Mr. Shah. Will the government be able to exchange old notes by the 30th of December? Or is there also that point that whatever cannot be exchanged, all notes can anyway be deposited into accounts by 30th of December? Mr. Shah.
Precisely. See, the thing is, again, as I said, there are misconceptions flying around. You have to exchange notes if you don't want to deposit. But ultimately, it makes more sense, and it's easier for any money holder, the note holder, to deposit at one go the money. And if your money is not, if your money is accountable and you have declared that money, why should you fear from depositing?
Yes.
See, exchange is for the 11th hour. You need immediately some money, so
Yes, you've got a fair point there. Whatever money you have 1,000 rupee notes, you have 500 rupee notes, you can deposit any amount in a bank. It's only a restriction on withdrawal. It's 24,000 rupees per week if you are in urban centers, 25,000 rupees a week if you're a farmer. Inayat, go and ask your question.
Yes, I have a question for the panel of your experts.
Yes.
Yes, my single question is that can it really check the menace of black money for which it has been initiated, this move has been initiated?
Okay, Mr. Devendra Sharma, would you like to respond to that? Will taking out this kind of currency, old 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, will it end black money? Will it curb black money?
I said it's a very valid question, and I think lots of people are asking this question because people who are facing the hardship are the ones who are definitely going to say whether it is going to result, their hardship that they are undergoing will result into eradication of black market. Now, the interesting part here is that the economists tell us that roughly about 30% of the parallel economy that we talk about is about 30%, which means black money is 30% of the genuine economy we have. Now, out of which maximum of 6%, some people say 3% is in cash. As far as black money is concerned, rest of it has already been invested into, properties, gold, and things like that. Now, if it is only aimed at removing 3%, now that's a valid question. What about the remaining 27% of black money that is in the market? So I guess government will have to now, take more steps to build up this confidence that yes, they aim at removing or as best as possible getting away from or getting out this black money.
Okay. And Mr. Shah, you agree that only 3% of the black money is being targeted through this huge step that's been taken by the government, 27% unchecked?
See, it's a matter of assessment as of now. Nobody knows what would be the final outcome is. But my point is simple, that if whatever may be, the government has never said this is the first step and this is the last step. The fight against black money doesn't begin with the demonetization and doesn't end with it. So basically a first step which was necessary, and as Mr. Prime Minister himself has said in public meetings that there are going to be other steps also. So let's not be very pessimistic. Okay, fine, what if only 30%, 20%? A good beginning is half job done.
Okay, and you think it's well begun? I have Sanjeev who calls us from Hyderabad. Lots of callers. We will take your calls. A lot of people have been saying they've been holding on for a long time. Please do. Our experts will continue to answer your calls. Sanjeev, go ahead. Ask your question.
there is a notification for the banks to give us 10,000 rupees a month or a week. When we call the bank, they're saying there's no money.
Okay, so it's 24,000 rupees a week in an urban center, 25,000 rupees a week if you're a farmer. But Devendra Sharma, this problem persists. A lot of people are saying they stand in queues and the banks say, we don't have the money. How do we pay?
Yes, and we have seen on the social media lots of people posting pictures of ATM saying, sorry, we have run out of money. The bank saying that we have run out of money. And also, if you look at the situation is more precarious as far as the rural areas are concerned. I know of farmers who have been calling me up to say that they have been going to the bank for 4 days and there's no money. And so even exchanging notes is so difficult. So I think this is a problem because there's not much of replenishment that we have as far as the new notes are concerned. 500 rupees notes have still not come into into the circulation, and the 2000 note, it's becoming very difficult to reach to different places. So yes, there is a problem, but I hope that in the days to come this will be tidied over.
Okay. Is there also a lot of fear-mongering in the market? Because the government is saying there is no restriction on the amount of money you can put back into your bank. It's not a legal tender for exchange. Lots more of the rumors that are there in the market and the truth on ground. Call us if you have questions. We have a panel of experts. They will try and dispel your doubts. There are lots of rumors in the market. Do not believe rumors. Look at what the government is saying. Keep watching India Today. We'll tell you the truth of what's happening on ground. There is a big political fight that's also happening at this point of time. But call us. Our numbers are flashing on your television screen. Whatever doubts you may have, we will try our best to dispel them. On this broadcast, we will tell you what the problems are and what the solutions could well be. Over the next half hour, we will continue to respond to your calls. Let me take you through the top developments of the day. Limit for exchanging old notes for now has been curtailed to 2,000 rupees per day. Families can withdraw up to 2.5 lakh rupees if there's a wedding in the family. Farmers can withdraw up to 25,000 rupees a week. Government employees can draw a cash advance of up to 10,000 rupees. No toll tax on national highways till November 24th midnight. Colonel Ramdev, I have a soldier on the broadcast, Colonel Ramdev from Chandigarh. We also have R.K. Sharma from Delhi, but Colonel, please go first, sir.
Yeah, intent has been excellent. I think no person could have done this except Modi. But the implementation is totally bungled. I would hold finance minister and all the babus in that ministry and Reserve Bank for this. If they had made 500 rupees note of the same size and replaced them in a protracted period, this problem could not have occurred. They should do it now immediately. All 500 notes should be put in the ATMs. The problem will be solved.
Mr. Shah, would you like to respond to what the Colonel is saying? If there are more 500 rupee notes in circulation, the problem will be solved. And also the intent, he says, is excellent. No one other than the Prime Minister could have done it better. But on the implementation side, there are issues.
Well, certainly, when you talk about this, it could have been done. But let's split it into two. The intent of government is very clear: to weed out black money, to weed out counterfeits. Now, this a step of this magnitude. And I would say the second thing is logistics and preparedness. So obviously there are some weaknesses in logistics and preparedness. That has to be addressed, and I'm sure government and the other concerned agencies are addressing them. And if you realize that that situation is improving over the days. I mean, what the commotion was there on the 10th of November outside the banks, and today you don't see such a serpentine queue. So I'm sure things are improving. Of course, people have gone through hardship, but as I said previously also, the intent is genuine. This is the beginning, this is not the end, and this is not the only measure, and that's been confirmed by the none other than Mr. Prime Minister himself. This is the beginning to fight the menace of black money, counterfeits, another thing, and the thing has been started.
Okay, Mr.
movement.
Sharma, your question, Mr. R.K. Sharma from Delhi.
Well, I think the Colonel is very right. It requires political courage to take this step that the Prime Minister has taken, and I think that is commendable. Everyone would agree with that. But the shoddy implementation, I think by now many of the economic and so on, the secretaries and joint secretaries should have been sacked. You know, I see no reason why we go on tolerating them when they were so incompetent. I completely agree, because the kind of hardship people are facing is phenomenal. I think it's a traumatic experience for many, and I don't see why people should have died. Many people have died also standing in the queues. That's not fair. That clearly shows that things are not, the way it should have been implemented have not been implemented. So I think, I hope the Prime Minister takes a call on this and sets the entire thing into a definite order.
Okay, Mr. R.K. Sharma is one of our callers who calls us from Delhi. I have Nawaz from West Bengal, but Mr. Sharma, would you like to go first? R.K. Sharma?
I will go first. My question is that the government says that we have made all possible preparations before taking this huge step.
Ji.
Sir, you have so many intelligence agencies, anti-corruption bureaus, Central Bureau of Investigation, who know what Hawala is, what black money is, what sort of malpractices take place in this area. It appears you have consulted none of them, and that is why we are seeing so many malpractices in the field. Accounts changing money, insurance policies, fixed deposits, bankers getting involved in this racket. Sir, how can you possibly say that we were well prepared?
Mr. Shah, would you like to respond?
No, these are, as I said to one of the previous caller, that this is not the only step government is at. This is extreme measure. This will flush out to almost 30%, and that's what the claims. And nobody knows the number unless the outcome is known. So this is not the only step. What this gentleman is saying, of course, how do we not know that they are not addressing these things simultaneously? So this was very much necessary, because cash is something which was the largest menace among all this. Everybody doesn't have unaccountable insurance policy, but cash is something which is very liquid. So people, those who are holding huge amount of black money, unaccountable money, they would rather have it in cash.
Okay,
see the
I have Shruti from Hyderabad, Nawaz from Bengal. Nawaz, go on, ask your question.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मेरा सवाल है सर
जी
कि अभी किसी ने बताया कि जो 6% सिर्फ कैश पे है, बाकी जो है 27% हमारे पैसे जो हैं गोल्ड में हैं या रियल एस्टेट में हैं
जी।
तो मेरा सवाल ये है सर कि इन्होंने पहले गोल्ड को और रियल एस्टेट वालों को क्यों नहीं अटैक किया? ये कैश पे पहले करना जरूरी था।
सरकार की जो प्रायोरिटीज है, that's a valid question you're raising, Mr. Shah and Mr. Devendra Sharma. I'd like both of you to respond to it. Nawaz from Bengal has a question. If 27% of black money is in gold or real estate, why wasn't that targeted first? Why was 3% cash targeted first? Is that a fair question, Mr. Shah?
देखिए, क्वेश्चन फेयर हो सकता है, लेकिन यहाँ पे भी यही बातें उभर के सामने आती है। इनका जवाब क्योंकि हिंदी में था, मैं बता दूं कि अगर अटैक करना है ज़मीन या सोने के ऊपर, तो उसके लिए क्या सरकार तैयार है, या वो और भी प्रिपेयर करना चाहती है डेटा कलेक्ट करने में, या कैसे उसको फिक्स किया जाए? सिर्फ question is not that there are problems and money is staked in the real estate and gold. How do we tackle that, and how do we attack that, identify them, and bring them to book? So it's not only question what are the solutions. So I'm sure government is working on the solution. Once you have solutions, then you can take those measures. It's easy to identify question and the problems. Yes, everybody knows the problems are. But do we have solution? And if we do not have, then we have to look for solution. And if the solutions will take some more time to design a blueprint, obviously they are going to address it subsequently.
Right, spot on. Shruti,
this is what my opinion
from
is.
Hyderabad. Go on, Shruti, ask your question.
Gaurav, अगर allow करें.
जी. क्षमा कीजिएगा. Yeah, go on, sir, Mr. Sharma. Before Shruti asks her question.
सवाल था गौरव का अपने कॉलर का बंगाल से. मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ही बढ़िया सवाल था और यही एक सवाल जो है जिसका जवाब किसी के पास नहीं है. सच्चाई ये है कि जब हम मानते हैं कि भाई 27%, 20% जितना भी है, अगर वो रियल एस्टेट में लगा है और रियल एस्टेट हम कई सालों से जानते हैं कि भाई उसमें कितने प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, कितना उसमें ब्लैक मनी, कालाधन अगर सबसे ज्यादा लगा है तो हम मानते हैं रियल एस्टेट में लगा है या पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज में लगा है. दोनों में कोई अगर हमारा कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है या हम नहीं कर सकते तो मुझे वी आर हेल्पलेस देन. आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट ने जो ये बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं कि 3% के लिए सारे देश को जो ट्रॉमेटिक कर दिया है, ट्रॉमा फेस करने को कर दिया है, वो उससे अच्छा होता कि अगर हम उस पर क्रैकडाउन करते रियल एस्टेट पे. और वो कर सकते थे. ये नहीं कि पता नहीं है करना, पर करना कहीं शायद हम लोग भूल हुई है. पहला स्टेप कौन सा होना चाहिए था और दूसरा स्टेप कौन सा होना चाहिए था.
Okay, Shruti in Hyderabad, go and ask your question, ma'am.
Yes, I'm online. Yeah, I have a serious question. Okay, that which is actually plaguing the 90% of the population right now who are confused right now. Okay, everybody in the country knows that the actual serious black money lives in either in foreign safe havens, tax havens, or in gold or in real estate. And the government will have the names of the tax evaders and who are regular offenders and who have these kind of, and why aren't they after them, and why is the general public being inconvenienced, only targeting one portion of that the cash.
Okay.
I mean, only they're targeting only the cash. Why are the real estate offenders?
Point. A previous caller had the same point, Shruti. Thank you very much, Mr. Shah. Should the government have prioritized bigger, gone in for foreign assets first? Should they have gone in for real estate first or diamonds first, instead of going after what affects the lowest common denominator? Or as Jairam Ramesh, in an interview said, government was looking at political consideration more than economic considerations. Mr. Shah.
Well, as I said, in my reply to the previous questioners, same thing. See, it is easier to say that the black money stashed in overseas assets. Now, how do you bring them back? There are so many bilateral. It should be within law. Same thing applies to real estate and gold. Is there a provision in the law to catch them, and how do you bring them to book? So, unless you work out all these things, how do you address this situation? Is it easy to bring back money from overseas? No.
Okay. Rural India is one aspect that we haven't really focused on, because most of our callers we notice are in urban areas. But Devendra Sharma, in rural India, there is tremendous fear. It's sowing season, Rabi sowing season. Tell us how farmers are dealing with this situation, sir.
Well, before I go to this, if you allow me to answer the previous question also, I just want to say this shows the intent also of the government. The lady asked a very good question. Now, if you look at it, the people who have got the NPAs and so on, the list is not being made open. See, look at it. The Supreme Court wants to know, who are these people, 57 people who have the NPAs of 85,000 crore rupees. The government said we don't want to divulge that name. So it's very clear. You want to hide the people, the section of the population which is of course responsible for all this mess, their names, and then you are trying to say every poor man or every ordinary person of the country should be accountable. I think there is a definite problem here, which the lady has been very right in asking that question, which the country is also asking. Now, coming to the other part, sir, you are very right. The biggest problem that we see now, which is worsening with every passing day, is in the rural areas. Why I am saying this is because 70% of the country lives in rural areas, and that's where the farmers are getting impacted. Now, this was a sowing period. This was a sowing for the Rabi crops. Now, farmers have to buy seed, fertilizer, and other inputs. They have no money. They run out of the money. And now they have to also ensure they have to sell their crops. For instance, look at potato. The prices have come down from 14 rupees per kilo to 10 rupees per kilo because you can't hold it. Farmers can't hold it. And the trade is saying you either take in check or you take in the old currency. Now, how can can farmer do that? Now
And
look at the
perhaps
prices of
that
peas.
is
Peas have
where
come down
the
from
government
70
very
to 45
clearly
rupees a kilo.
needs
Now, the
to
point
focus
is,
now.
if
The
you look at
government
mandis
needs
in the
to
country,
focus
whether it is Belgaum,
on
whether
the
it is
farmers.
in Karnataka.
Yes, at this point of time. For the moment, Mr. Devendra Sharma and Sunil Shah, many thanks for joining me. I have run out of time on this broadcast.